not wishing to pass up an opportunity not only for the first sail of the season, but to help Duncan move his boat, I said yes immediately. Unfortunately, we were away on the 23rd to the 25th, so I couldn't do that week, but we decided that we'd go for the 1st of April. That quickly changed to the 30th of April, Wednesday the 30th of April, due to the yard wishing to lower her on that date. So all arrangements were made. On the 30th, Wednesday the 30th, I was up at 6 o'clock in the morning. I was up at 5 o'clock in the morning, got into the van and drove down to meet Duncan at Deganwy. We waited for Duncan. Duncan arrived at 8 o'clock. We then took his car over to Conway, over to Penryn. I'll get these facts right soon. Over to Penryn, where we prepared. As soon as we got there, literally as soon as we got there, the boat was, the yard was ready to pick up the boat and put it on the water. So in all haste, we prepared everything as quickly as we could and what we could to get ready to move off. And the story goes on from here. With everything quickly disconnected, pipes off, fenders on, as much as we could find out to do before they hauled it away.
Launching Dolly today, going to take Dolly down to Deganwy. Beautiful day, absolutely beautiful. Good Welsh weather. Proper rain. Not that cold actually. I expected it to be a lot colder than it is. But it's looking good. And just going to launch Dolly, and then we can get on there and get off before high water, which would be good. Bit different to our Duncan. But our Duncan just does a similar job. In fact, with less hassle, to be honest with you. This is taking forever. So many controls. They're far more efficient.
That moment of dread as she's lowered into the water, just hoping everything's sealed and there's no leaks and everything is going to work all right. But until you've checked everything, you really don't know. And it's a lot of money to spend to put something in the water only to find you've got to take it back out again.
Dolly's in the water, looking good now. That's not at all. And we're off to the gangway. I think it'll be motoring most of the way. Light guns at the moment. Start coming in. It's going to move on. Dolly's underway. It's 20 past 10. My tide's 30:30. So we've got an hour. Hopefully we can get out. I mean, we should be able to get right across that sound, shouldn't we?
What, Puffin Sound?
Yeah.
What?
I don't know what the depth is.
Oh, you mean across the Swatch?
Face across there.
Yeah, not far.
No, okay.
Yeah, and yeah.
No
I've thought about it. Yeah, but
not a problem.
we'll have to wait anyway.
Yeah. We're not going to get in anyway.
Right, so I'll take this forward.
Yeah.
And just spin it.
Yeah. Yeah, wrap it round. Wrap that round.
And then it's
Wrap both of them round the sail, and then you can just spin the sail. I can do it if you want.
I've got it. Unless you want.
No.
Yeah.
the furling rope's not long enough and it's all wrapped around the drum, so we've got to take it back round out of the drum, but to do that we've got to take all the we've got to wrap the rope around the sail first so we can pull that out. It'll be fine. Fairly misty, left Penryn now, but it's not that bad. It's fair wind, but we're headed direct into wind at the moment, so obviously no sails are going up. Still mostly nice, just passing through Morris now. It's 11, just coming up to 10 to 11, 10 to 11, and the wind's getting up. Still on our nose, but yeah, isn't too bad. Sea is quite calm really, not really big waves, but it is wind with tide at the moment. When it turns, when the tide turns, I'm sure we'll know about it. We'll get up a bit. Could be a rocky ride over to Gambie. Hopefully we'll be sailing by then. Things will be a bit more stable. The cabin boy's making the tea at the moment. Approaching Puffin now. Puffin looks quite clear. Weather's calming down a bit. Got a few squalls. No rain really. Just strong winds. But the tide will have turned now, so we've got the tide going with us. It's now 11:32, so we'll be going an hour now, which is not bad really. Heading towards Puffin Island, which looks like it's in the sun.
Sun's come out.
Yeah. It's one of those days which was forecast was awful, but so far, I mean certainly over Wales you can see, over Wales, over Snowdonia, it's awful.
My wife told us just to get on with it.
Yeah. Yeah. Claire said, just do it. And Duncan, being a good husband that he is, just did it. Getting a bit choppy here now, but it is wind against tide. Duncan's trying down the spray hood. Actually, we're heading over there once we go around Puffin.
12:05.
12:05, we're just coming up to Puffin Sound. waves are quite big actually, they're quite choppy. They get thrown all over the place. Still under motor, although the wind has gone our beam, but we can't go through this at the moment.
Well, it'll be hard reaching.
Yeah. And whoa, that was a big road. That's quite big waves though.
As we approached Puffin Sound, the waves became very erratic, the sea became very confused as the outgoing tide mixed with the tide coming around Puffin Island and the wind configuration. It was really confused. The size of the waves began to build as we headed all. You can just about see, unfortunately the GoPro doesn't show it very well, but you can just about see the white crests as we're pulling to Puffin Sound there. You'll see more later.
Hey.
Videoing?
No, go on.
Might have been difficult to hear that, but basically what I was saying is, as we literally passed the lighthouse, between the lighthouse and the big red buoy on Puffin Island, it gets very confused as the channels meet, and it's very, very choppy. It always is, but for some strange reason this was particularly choppy today, given that there was not much wind about at the time. And I was quite surprised that they were actually experiencing such big waves in a short space of time. But it is a very confused sea, always. Once you're out of it, it really becomes calm.
Oh, fasten windows in. Can you just help?
Big waves here today. We've come through quite a few, at least as big as they are now. We've just come through some to win.
We're like to win now, aren't we?
Yeah,
We'll just give it a go.
yeah. The sail now. Waves are pretty big. Wind, fortunately, is quite light. We're managing to do actually not at the moment. And it's getting time as well. Before I got the first time, but these waves are enormous. Some of them are absolutely massive. Then we have so we're just heading down to Conway now, passing Puffin Island. But it seems quite bright over there. It doesn't look very good towards Grace Home. It's quite black out there.
Hopefully get accredited.
That'd be good.
Yeah, so I can get. They might give me associate member to start with, and then
Yeah.
do that. There's a massive course. But that'll be good to get that going.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I can.
Is there a bracket approach you can assess, or is there all tips?
Sorry.
Is it a bracket approach you can assess, or is it most on the board?
But I won't do anything that's in Lloyd's market.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Right.
So, below 35.
Yeah.
That would be nice, that. So. It's 2 o'clock now.
2 o'clock, just coming up to the fairway, boy. It's a nice little sail across there. The waves are calming down now. These are reasonable size waves now. There's a great orb. In a bit hours to low water now. We're at the fairway, well we were at the fairway point, and then we came out for a sail, and we're just heading back in now because we need to get into the River Conway before we get stuck out here. Out here?
Yeah.
You don't think we'll get in?
I'll get in there. There's enough drink.
2 hours out. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's plenty of beach though, isn't there? There's plenty of beach though.
Oh yeah. Well, let's get further away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, the weather's certainly closing in on us now. The wind's increasing slightly, although the waves have calmed down, which is nice. Those waves are quite horrendous. These are reasonable sail now. It's going well. We've been 4 knots. Yeah, 4 knots.
Finite element design, minimum.
Just coming in now to our in the main channel towards Conway. You see the flow on that. We're just pushing 1 knot of 4-3. There's quite a strong tide here now. And it's 1.8 knots, I should say. It's quite strong tide. And we've got 2.9 metres, well 1.5 metres underneath us, underneath the keel. And we've got about an hour to go for 2 hours to go for low water. Arrived in the channel, in Conway Channel now. We just anchored off Seafall. Weather's really, well, brightening up. Certainly not sunny, but brightening up. And it's heating up a bit. And if you look at the sea state, it's really calm. It's great down there. I wish it was like that when we were coming across. But it was quite enjoyable coming from Puffin Island over there, and yeah, it's just gone 4 o'clock, so low water's 5:30, so it'll be about 7:30.
Hi David. I'm on holiday, so I've been actually at sea
before we can get away. Tide has turned now. We'll slowly head in down the river with the tide. We're just going to lift anchor. Wind certainly got up. It's quite strong now, pushing us side onto the wind and the tide. Should be a bit more sheltered when we get into the actual River Conway itself. Just about to pull up the anchor now. The biting wind now. It's very cold. Duncan on the helm. Back of the sail. It's a biting wind. Looks like Anglesea's getting hammered with the rain. We've been exceptionally lucky so far. But the last time I said that, yeah, we were coming across with Tony, and we missed we watched the bad weather go right the way around us,
Yeah.
and we were completely in the shade of the weather, and then we saw this massive squall coming right towards us. I tell you what,
In his boat, yeah.
yeah. We got literally the whole of that day's weather in one go.
One blast.
Yeah.
And how long did it last?
Oh, about 20 minutes.
Not
Yeah. But we were soaked. We were soaked right away through, even with all our gear.
Right.
You know. Gone up to, is this C3, is it?
Yeah. Should be. No, C6.
Oh, it's C2. No,
6.
6.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we passed C5, didn't we? Yeah, it's coming in the, C6. Yeah. Yeah, it looks like rain coming over the Orme there. Real hailstones now.
Oh, I've got hail in my eyes.
Real hailstones. Yeah. It's like, it's pin sharp as well. Dear me. Like getting attacked by a load of needles. That's because I said we've escaped all the bad weather. But now, dear me. Oop.
No, it's just a clip.
This is Sandbank, how close that is. Very narrow entrance down the River Conway and Comrie. We're moving quite fast.
Yeah, we're moving fast. See that?
Yeah, 8.5 knots. Not bad at all. Hopefully we can get it just with Gangway Marina now. They haven't been able to hear us.
Should be able to reach them now.
The Gangway Marina, the Gangway Marina, the Gangway Marina. This is Yacht Dolly, over. They did answer us and then they went off. As soon as I asked him what time can we get in,
Yeah.
he switched off. We don't want any more boats today. Oh, the weather's foul now. The Gangway Marina, the Gangway Marina, the Gangway Marina. This is Yacht Dolly, over.
What set out to be a very pleasant day. We motored most of the way, leaving Penryn at 10:38, just after supposedly high water, although high water didn't arrive till 11 o'clock as it turned out. Total length of the journey was 18.3 nautical miles. The time was 10 hours 18 minutes. The average speed was 1.8 and the highest speed was 7 knots, and that was with the tide with us. We finished up at 3 minutes to 9 when we actually arrived in. We had real trouble getting into the gangway. We tried to contact them, we couldn't get them on the radio, and we ended up literally sort of mooring up on the pontoon outside Conway until we could get to them. And then we moored up on the pontoon. That was quite easy enough, but it was now dark, freezing cold, real hailstone, and we tried to make our way in. We asked him what time the gate was open. He said 8:10. At 8:15, we released our lines, headed over to the gangway, only to find the gate was still on red. We motored around, and finally we saw the change to green. Now this was 25 to 9, and it was just ridiculous. We were freezing cold, soaking wet by this time. We made our way into the marina. We were told to go to A4 pontoon. When we arrived at A4 pontoon, there was a boat there, so we had to go past that, turn around, come back and find an empty pontoon, which we did, and we managed to get in. Unfortunately, as we were approaching the pontoon, it got really difficult, and Duncan lost all manoeuvrability. The boat wouldn't turn. We tried everything we could to see what we could do. In the end, we were motoring in. I managed to hook first throw onto a cleat on the pontoon, which stopped us dead, and we were able to then pull the boat to rest. What was the reason? The cable had snapped on the controls for the engine. Overall, quite an adventure. Some big waves, some of the biggest I've been in, certainly recently. And yeah, but we were all safe and sound in the gangway. This is leaving Penryn, but it was too dark to take any pictures when we got to the gangway.